Hey guys, Harvey and Adam here from Harwell Consulting. We've just jumped on the Confessions of a Recruiter podcast for episode 2 with Blake and Declan.
Now, we covered how we got from 0 to 7 figures within 9 months, the kind of plans we've got for growing the team, the end of season trip to Byron that's coming up, and then the bigger and long-term goals for the business.
If you're in the same position that we were 12 months ago and want to fire any questions our way, then make sure you message us on LinkedIn and we'd love to help.
Welcome back to another episode of Confessions of a Recruiter. We're here with Ravi Hivers and Jim White from Harwell Consulting. Welcome, boys.
We're back.
Thanks, Blake. Thanks for having us.
All right, should we do another intro now, just in case? Like a proper, like a serious one?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome back to another episode of Confessions of a Recruiter. We're here with Adam and Harvey from Harwell Consulting. Thanks for joining us on the pod, boys.
Mate, it is good to be back. Very good.
Mate. Is this your third time on the pod?
Second.
Volume 2.
I think number 1, we were about 6 weeks in, so we felt like we couldn't really talk about anything too serious.
Yeah, I think the main topic of conversation was hide and go seek with the lights off.
And that bat joke.
And a bat joke, yeah.
That bat joke got a little bit of traction, actually, didn't it?
Yeah, that didn't go down too well. And now we're running a 7-figure agency, 9 months in business. Staff.
On the Goldie, living your best lives.
In your own office. Everyone on the Gold Coast Highway can fucking see you every day. How does it feel? Have you even looked back at all?
I think that's probably something we're bad at. We're just always looking forward. So, yeah, there's been times where we've just had to step back and go, fuck, like, it's incredible what we've built. I think if you'd have told us we'd be sat here in this position when we started, I'd probably ask you to turn water to wine for your next trick as well. So we're pretty stoked with it.
Yeah, it's just incredible. Like the journey it's been. It feels like a lifetime, but also so quick at the same time. It's just so much fun. You know, we still absolutely love every day. And I think one thing we're quite passionate about is just increasing the goals all the time. Like when we started, this was, you know, that stupid, ridiculously far away goal. But now we feel like we're getting close to that. We've got new goals which we're trying to achieve and new things which just keep us pretty pumped and running into the office every day.
And how has it changed? What are you, I know we're talking about all the meaty stuff early on, but what is, when you get into 9 months, 12 months in business, what are these new goals that you're like planning for, that you envision now?
Well, building a team for a start.
Which you're doing. Yeah,
which we're doing and have more people, 2 more confirmed for July 1, which is great. So that'll take us to, I think, 6 in total. Yeah, we're quite honest. When we launched this, it was going to be me and Adam till the very end. Build a good network, be very good at what we do in our certain areas, but probably turn it into more of a lifestyle business. But I think some of the personal development we've done along the way just unlocked new goals, new challenges, and probably us to see what was achievable. And we're just obsessed with always kind of stepping forward, and we don't like being comfortable. So, it's definitely been good to keep us kicking forward.
You know, one of the posts actually that really resonated with me, I think you posted it, maybe 3 or 4 months ago, and your LinkedIn post was the biggest shift that you've had, and just correct me if I'm wrong here, but it was the biggest shift that you've had is gone from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset, and how much more business and activity and like reward comes into your life when you give more and you change that mindset from employee to employer. Can you like expand on that?
Yeah, bang on. And it's still true today as well. I think we try and collaborate with a lot of recruiters now, whether that's about actual jobs and candidates or it's just how's things, what have you found, how are you doing stuff as well. Abundant in terms of the jobs and the clients as well, rather than ring fence my 10, 15 clients and no one else can call them. Now I kind of back myself to, if you do want to speak to a recruiter, great, hopefully you're going to go, actually the experience with Harwell was way better, and then that just doubles down on the reason why they use us again, rather than have the fear and the anxiety of losing clients. If one did say, we're not for them anymore, or we did a bit of a shit job, I back ascent to go and get the next one and the next one after that.
But even like that's just one part. But now we're talking about you guys are getting off-site coaching, you're spending thousands of dollars a month on all that. A scarcity mindset to go, oh fuck, I'm not going to do that. So this is like bleeding into all areas of your life in such a positive way. It could even be like, I don't know how many hours you work each week, but even realizing that, hey, you can have a bit of time off, do things, keep the family, together and being a part of it. Is that right?
I think it's just looking at it as an investment. Yes, okay, we've spent X amount of $1,000 on personal development for us and the team, but what revenue has that unlocked? Probably from a business perspective, but then also ourselves and our team from that personal perspective. Like you said, I think our emotional intelligence as well as our business intelligence is, we're 10x on where we were when we started this. So I think that kind of ties back into that abundance mentality of we now want to bring people along with this journey. We've experienced how amazing it was in those early stages. So now to be able to bring Andy into the business, who's a long-term friend of ours, and Chloe as well, who we've worked with before and absolutely love her, to bring these guys on this journey. We say that we're all going to the top, and we want them there with us.
Yeah, mate. What would, if we just like rewind 12 months? 12 months ago, you were working at Hayes. You were good billers. Life was pretty good. Fair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at where you guys are now, did you ever envision, could you have envisioned that you guys would be where you are today 12 months ago?
It'd be a ridiculous thing to say. It would be
9 months.
9 months ago.
9.
I probably just couldn't see it because it wasn't a reality. It wasn't something that I knew was out there to go and chase. It's probably been well above and beyond the expectations and just the way we've done it as well, right? I think you can talk about the numbers and the growth is great, but we've had a bloody good time doing it every day. And we, the social media side of things with LinkedIn, that's kind of something we've stumbled upon, not really a strategy that we had, We kind of just did a couple of videos, got decent engagement, did a few more. And then it got to a point where if we stop doing the videos and stop getting that engagement, we're only hurting ourselves. And now it's kind of become our thing.
So it's interesting that you say that. So if we could compare your fulfillment being recruiters 12 months ago and your fulfillment being a recruiter today, you're doing the same job. You're doing exactly the same thing as you were doing 12 months ago, but now you're like levels above from an emotional and a fulfillment standpoint. Why do you think that is? Why are you so much happier being a recruiter just sitting in this office than you were, being somewhere else?
I think there's a couple of reasons. I think 12 months ago it was just a job. I think now it's my life. Probably the personal risk as well. If we don't do well and we don't build an amazing brand and do the right thing by people, we can't pay our mortgages, we can't feed our kids. So it's that, it has to work. But I think doing it for yourself and building that own brand that's ours, that you can really, really be proud of, that's where the fulfillment has just been incredible for us. For someone to come in and say, okay, you're doing a good job within someone else's agency, that's brilliant. You get your pat on the back and then you kind of move forward. But now when someone goes, hey, that business that you've built looks incredible and it's doing really well and people want to come and work for you, that's where it's just, it's worlds apart, I think, the feeling.
That just reminded me of a meeting I had when I was at Hayes. I think it was the start of the last financial year when I was there. So that's a couple of years ago. Out of the first 4 periods, so 4-week blocks, I'd done 100 grand out of 3 of the 4 of them, which is ridiculous, like stupidly good. Couldn't believe it. I remember sitting there at the end of it with my boss or whatever, and I was going like, it's good, but I don't really care. And I'm not trying to sound like a wanker because it was awesome, it's so good, but I didn't have that when I didn't ever do 100K a month. That was the mecca, same thing. And then kind of when I achieved it, I was like, what now? I've got to go and do another 100K or more. I've got to do 150. When does it stop? And what is it, just chasing dollars? It was just a bit of a hole. And that was, I didn't say, I better call X Recruiter and start my own business. It wasn't that clean cut. But I was definitely going, I can't do this for the next 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
I think life changes. Like for me, I had a little girl. And there were probably things that recruitment industry as a whole sometimes gets a bad rap. There are bad operators. There were things we've witnessed firsthand. There's things that we've heard about. And I'm just like, when something happens, you become a dad, you're like, I just want to build something I can really be proud of and go home to my family every day and just feel fulfilled and then flip back into the, dad mode.
Yeah.
And this has given us that.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because dad energy, and soon you'll get there, mate. Soon you'll get there. Dad energy is a different energy where, like, when you want to turn up to... I thought when I first heard about Elsie, Kat being pregnant with Elsie, I thought, oh, shit, my ambition's going to go down the toilet. My goals are down the toilet. I'm not going to be able to keep, like, reaching above my my knowledge or skill level. But then when you've got like a kid on the way or you've got a new baby, it's almost like I want to be the best version of myself so I make my kids proud And so when my kids grow up, they can be like, yeah, dad was a killer, you know, be super proud of their dad. So that's just something that I find is a massive driver with young families, because a lot of people starting their agency, especially an ex-recruiter, they're all like either really young a kid on the way, or they've got a really young baby. It's this weird thing that we're attracting. Maybe it's just the age group that that a lot of people are starting their own thing. But having that kid that you can go home to, that child, so I shouldn't say kid, having a baby to go home to is something special as well.
Yeah, I think it's a blessing in disguise as well. Like, you know, I'm sure you guys have conversations with people looking to start their own agency, and it's not the right time. It's not the right time. In my opinion, that was the best time. We had no other option than for this to work.
When you actually start, that's when everything goes to shit.
Yeah.
What?
Like when you actually commit to starting, usually there's a few hurdles and then you get by them and then it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But usually it's never really the right time to start a business.
Yeah, yeah.
When I committed to starting, then we found out about Sage and, you know, everything wasn't ideal.
Yeah.
Same with you.
I thought you meant everything goes to shit when you start a business.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, really?
No, that wasn't very good. But what I meant was that like certain things pop up that test you at the time. And it's like a lead way into business, because you get past those little things and then it's happy days.
And we've spoken a fair bit about the benefits and the fortune of having a business partner, having someone to bounce off as well. And one sentence that always sticks in my head when I speak about when we started the business is that the only way Harwell Consulting fails is if a meteorite hits the earth, right? Like there's nothing that we won't do to make this work. It's going to have to be something out of our control. And I think just having that clear-mindedness goes, shit, yeah, you're right. What's the worst that can happen?
When did you adopt this? Was this a weekend? Was this before you started? When did this kind of, you know what, we're going to make this successful, and the only way it's not is if we get hit by a meteorite? When did that that mindset start or grow?
Before, I'd say.
Yeah. I think it's something we've had for personally
in
for
Hayes?
years.
You had that in Hayes when you were starting?
They're sportsmen. Like they've had it forever.
Yeah, when you're in the pro football game in England, like it's cutthroat.
Yeah, okay.
So I think there's an element of that, you know, in our background. But I think probably in terms of this business, when we, you know, made the decision and you pay your deposit and we're on board and you start writing the content, building the website, you're like, okay, shit, we're in, we're not backing out now. So it's just like, we've got to make this work. And the closer and closer you get to your resignation, I guess that feeling starts to really kind of come to the forefront.
Was there any moment that you thought, fuck, we've made the wrong decision here, maybe we should have stayed at Hayes?
No, it was the opposite. As soon as we decided we are doing it, it was 3 months away.
Yeah.
Then it was, maybe 2. Then it was a month, and then the days. Because obviously at the time, as you might remember, and the podcast listeners might remember, it was rock hard recruitment.
Yeah, rock hard recruitment.
For a long time.
Oh,
so
man.
we'd be running around the kitchen at Hayes going, imagine when we're at rock hard, you know, we could do this, do that.
Really?
That's so good. Yeah, no, that's awesome. So it took 3 months. Was that like the longest 3 months of your life to try and get together and get it launched and start working for yourself? What was like when you made the decision psychologically, you paid your deposit? Was it like time slowed down and every deal that you did at Hayes started to become a bit of a struggle because you're like, oh, I wish I could just do this for myself?
Yeah, I think the mindset changes. I think once you decide you're doing it, you almost become the business owner then, because then all of a sudden the work you are doing with your agency, it has to mean so much more, because you're like, okay, if these are guys that, you know, I want to service in the future, I need to be doing, you know, 100% such a good service by them now for them to make the jump. And you're doing that to try to be successful in your full-time role, as well as then jumping on the calls after hours to write all the content. We're constantly talking about it. So it was full on for 3 months. So it probably, it went, in my opinion, I think it went quite quickly.
It's probably a good little apprenticeship to the level of work you've got to get through doing your job and the business as well. So when you do start, you're not blown away by the work that's ahead of you.
And then you see how committed Andy and Chloe are, and that just fires you up. It fires me up. Just having fired they are up, and how passionate they are about Harwell. I think when you see, and like, you know, we experienced that with Serge and the team at Ex Recruiter. It's like when you start, everyone's on a mission, and it's like, let's fucking go. It's win at all costs, and everyone's on the bus together. That's one of the best feelings.
I know we give a lot of shout outs to Tucky, as we all do, from Swish, but seeing where Andy and Chloe as well started, to then going on the boot camp and now listening to them, they're 5 times better 10 times better than they were before that. The way they talk to people, the approach they try and get, the outcomes they try and get from people aren't, hey mate, do you want a labourer? It's okay, let me understand your business, so then if I can help, I can definitely show you how we can do that.
Yeah,
it's just
100%.
such a cleaner conversation, and it feels way better in terms of doing your job.
Yeah, if you've got more certainty, you've got more faith in your own ability when you know how to ask those more important questions rather than being transactional. So have you guys always thought prior to starting Harwell, learning and development and coaching and mentoring was that always at the top of your priority list? Because it feels like the Harwell boys they bleed like coaching, mentoring, leveling up. Like if there's anything that gives them an edge, they're into it and they're adopting it and they're implementing it. Has that always been the case, or did that just happen when you started your business and you thought, let's start investing in ourselves?
I think it probably just goes back to an obsession with wanting to be the best version of ourselves, but also the best at what we do.
Yeah.
We're just obsessed with always trying to think, where can we improve? And I think we're quite honest and we know our weaknesses. So that's probably areas that we've decided to get mentorship and training and development, and to see that now filter down into the guys and the way they've embraced it. Well, even, we talk about culture. It's hard to say, put your finger on what is a good culture. But we sat down with the guys and did a kind of quarterly review individually a few days ago. And to read some of the comments that they wrote and that they said about the business, it genuinely gave me goosebumps. To sit down there with Chloe and Andy, who have been dream employees as our first two hires. And they both said, look, I see myself here forever. I literally envision I'm here with Harwell till the end.
Yeah.
That's just like where you sit down and go, right, okay, all the work, all the hard work, the extra development, it all means something then.
So for a recruiter listening, and they perhaps maybe they're at an agency, maybe they've got their own business, and they've always toyed with the idea of personal development, training, coaching, all that kind of stuff. What would your advice be to them? What did you feel it was the biggest improvement, either mentally, sales-wise, physically, whatever it might be? What kind of advice would you give them if someone goes, all right, I want to level up, what do I do?
Cool Swish is probably the first one, to be fair. Another shout out.
Yeah.
We're not on comms, by the way.
Yeah. They've got a referral partnership right now. Just use hashtag Harwell at the checkout.
But I think we did a 2-day immersion, which was intense, kind of 2 days. There's 5 business owners there, and he was like, okay, what is your sales process? I'm like, I just call a client, get a job on, send a candidate, and that's crap. So we mapped out a proper sales process, when to send a content of value. What that might be, top 3 ways to choose your next project manager. So you're not direct selling. It's just, I'm here, I'm frequent of mind, I can add value to you in different ways. So the structure that gives you, and then having the process to follow, it takes a lot of the guessing work out the way. You know what you need to be doing, and then it's just down to you to do it. And I think a big thing about if someone's in an agency, and I say this now because I was kind of in that point myself, there was a bit of resistance from getting external training, because it was like, but we're the biggest agency, we've got the best training. So there was a bit of hesitation for them to kind of not allow me to do it, but to encourage me to do it. So I probably went, shit, you're right, yeah, training's really good here, I'll just keep doing that, which everyone else is doing. So if you're serious about being better than everyone else, or doing things differently to everyone else as well, I think getting external training's probably a foolproof way to make it happen, for sure.
It's to make us scalable as well. When we decided, okay, we do want to grow, build a team, and you sit down and go, well, what is your sales process? And we don't know, because we just do what we've always done. Like, we just know how to recruit. That's brilliant. But how can you apply that for someone new coming into the business, whether they're from a recruitment background or not? You need a blueprint or a framework which allows you to expand. So that was a massive one for us. And it was hectic. It was full on when we were implementing all of that. But then once it's done, to then bring the guys in and go, okay, here's our framework. This is how we do things. We still pay the guys at Swish on a weekly basis to do 3 live sessions with our team. So it's like, it's just, what can we outsource to free up our time as well?
Mate, that pays massive dividends, doesn't it? And obviously your success from a numbers standpoint is proof of that. I don't know what the ROI is, dollar in, dollar out for the coaching and the training, but it's got to be a massive ROI.
Huge.
But even the way we're doing it, I think that's most important to me. When you reach that certain point where you go, great, we've done well there, it's how you're doing it. If we were slaving here 90 hours a week and just beating people up to hire people from us, it wouldn't feel anything like it does.
You wouldn't be posting the videos you are.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be doing this.
Mate, it's hard to get in front of the camera and post videos online when you don't feel like your best version of yourself.
Yep.
I'm sure if you have like a down week and you like have no energy, no momentum, and you're kicking stones, you're not jumping on a video like, hey, we're recruiting, let's go. So just seeing the sheer volume of activity that you guys have online really goes to show that you guys are in good flow, you've got good momentum, and things are really starting to build quite significantly. So you've got 4 full-timers now at the moment. Have you got any VAs, or what's like the structure of the business at the moment?
We had a VA for a while. We were probably too early on in our journey to bring someone on. We didn't have the time or probably the knowledge of how to utilise one best.
Yeah.
So then we kind of decided to part ways, I guess, and go, next hire is going to be someone here who we can really train, keep an eye on, understand what they're doing as well. We're not natural people managers. Well, I'm definitely not. I was probably half in, half out. So it's an energy for me to spend to do that on someone. So without knowing the return, I think that dominant personality type, knowing, okay, I'm going to do this 2 hours here because you're going to do this, this and this.
Yeah.
I need to see the results from them, learning it and getting it and putting it into practice to keep more energy to go again.
Yeah,
Which I think
nice.
you struggle with the VA.
Yeah, I've experienced that.
So you got four now, including you 2. You got another 2 coming on 1 July.
So 1.5. Well, I say 1. We've got another meeting later today, which we can hopefully get contracts done. So that'll be cool. That'll be the second one.
Really?
So there's like 1's
2.
locked in for July. She'll be the second.
Oh,
if all
nice.
goes well, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so we're bulking out the areas we've got. Obviously, Andy and Chloe are running the labour hire division. We've got a lady that will come and join me in the finance space. So we'll be able to give us more coverage with roles, resources, geographical locations as well. And then we've got one that will join Adam in the construction space as well. So at the moment, just really bulking up what we're already good at. And then the next step is probably, and it's person dependent. It's okay, do we look at doing another specialism like a HR or an IT, where again, it's person dependent because we don't have expertise in that area. So we need to be completely sure that we're bringing someone in that has that network and can effectively build it out themselves within the framework that we've created.
Mate, that's awesome. And you traditionally started off as perm recruiters, both of you, and now you've got a temp labour hire business that's building quite solidly in the construction market across southeast Queensland. What have you learnt from that? Are you involved in much, or is that just
Probably
happening?
quite lucky. Andy's an absolute freak. He's so good at his job. But I'm happy to, I say it to him all the time, I think he's the best labour hire recruiter I know I've ever met, and I see out there as well, for sure. He is so good at what he does. So I've probably been quite lucky where he's come in and just hit the ground running. He's like, this is what I need to do. I need this, this and this from you guys. And me and Harv was like, yep, here you go, mate, on you go. And him and Chloe, having worked together so closely as well, they got on like brother and sister. I'm not sure that's a bit a bit close to home, but really well. So they just get on with it as well, which is nice. I think we're there to support them obviously as much as we can as they need it, but they don't really need.
Okay, so if there are any recruiters out there that are interested to find out what it's like to have a VA support them in their role, whether that be to bill more, reduce tasks that they don't enjoy doing, or be a more effective recruiter in their niche, then we definitely recommend reaching out to the Outsource People or TOP. Reach out to them, inquire on how they can implement a VA in your agency and to support you. And if you mention ex-recruiter or Confessions of a Recruiter, they will give you a 13% discount off your bill per month on this VA that will allow you to scale your business, scale your desk, and to bill more and make more money. So go reach out to the Outsource People, say Confession sent you, get your discount, and see what is possible. What gave you the green light to hire? Because a lot of conversations we have with recruiters is they don't know what signals to look at to justify putting someone on. So you've started your business. It was just going to be you 2. Then all of a sudden you've got staff that you weren't intending to put on. What is your framework around hiring people? Is it money in the bank? Is it once you've done a good quarter? Is it once you've got enough running expenses in your business? What are you guys looking? Or are you just opportunistic and you go, fuck, there's someone really good here. Let's just, bite the bullet. What's the method to the madness and the scale?
Bit of everything, mate. Obviously, we had a great start, so we had the money there to be able to go and do it. I don't think you want to, early on as a business, you've got to be very careful there. Person dependent. We know that they're both great operators in the space. They've worked together before, and that was probably a massive part of the decision to bring them in. Because again, we go, okay, these guys can come into the framework, give them everything they need, and then they don't really use up much of our time. So that was a massive one as well.
Opportunity cost as well. I know we've just been me and Harv in standalone in our desks. There's jobs that potentially come in or clients, and we're trying to move to a different kind of model, to put it in that way, where we do all the recruitment for certain clients. So we've obviously got a foot in the door by doing really well at finance, really well at construction, and then they've gone, oh, hey, can you try this? And we go, yeah, we can, we'll do that, we've done a good job. So now we're sitting down and saying, okay, we can fill jobs across multiple areas of your business. Let's become your go-to. And if there's an IT job that we don't do, obviously we can refer that out and pass that on. But then seeing the jobs that potentially we could have filled, but purely time, me or Harv didn't have the capability to fill. Imagine if we had someone else with us. Imagine if we had 2 in finance, we could absolutely.
So you're just getting jobs on galore, and you're like, geez, if we had another person sitting here, we'd be able to actually capitalize on all this inflow of business.
Yeah, absolutely. Much, yeah. I've been approached about HR roles, which we've done and we've filled. So I think when you get a few, we've done sales roles. So when you get a few runs on the board in that space, it just unlocks your mind and you're thinking, okay, what else is out there?
But I remember in your bedroom, that was not the case. You guys were fucking almost in silos. He was upstairs, Adam was downstairs. I'm like, why aren't you guys fulfilling these roles? Oh, no, he does construction, I do accounting and finance. So it's awesome that's fucking switched.
Yeah.
That's really good because then...
Hang on a second. Can you give me some context on that, mate?
So they were...
So you're at their place.
Yeah, I remember it vividly. You're like 3 months in and there wasn't so much cross-collaboration. It was
you were sitting in different rooms.
So I'd be in the downstairs office in the lounge. Harv's would be in my spare room where the Harwell whiteboard is, looking out the window with a double bed behind him. Murphy's
What's the point in working in the same location if you're not sitting together?
Probably focus.
Hey, mate, you want to come over here and sit at the other end of the room?
Yeah. I'm one of those weird people that can't work from home. So, driving to Adam's was me driving to the office. Yeah, so that was me in that mindset. Okay, I'm off to work. But again, it's good because we say we're sat in different rooms, but you're only upstairs or downstairs.
Mate, it was like they were sitting next to each other with how loud they'd be. Woo, bosh!
That was hopefully in 10 years' time we're still kicking and we're massive and we're huge. I'll never forget that 6 months working at mine, just having an absolute crack. Proper kitchen table.
That is so good.
Filling huge jobs, speaking to general managers, directors of huge companies, and I'm sat in the kitchen with my dog running around my feet. I've got no idea.
Yeah. Well, we're honest with that. Well, we tell our clients that, and I think that's part of why they love it as well. Just because we're quite vulnerable, we're quite honest, and people just want to work with good people. You take off this robotic salesperson, just be yourself, and that's when you enjoy it and you feel more fulfilled. And
authenticity.
I think it's been amazing.
Yeah. See, that's another thing I think you guys posted about that I really resonated with was around you're working at your previous agency, you've got to put a mask on because you're representing another business and you probably don't build a relation. I think it was, I can't remember who posted it, but you weren't building authentic relationships because it was just a job. But now you've got your own business. You're actually able to be who you really are, bit of tongue in cheek, bit of fun, some smiles, and build those authentic relationships. And it's obviously paying massive dividends now.
And I think it just means the type of people who wouldn't want to work with us don't. So then we're only working with people who either like us or at least understand what we're about and that I think we can do a decent job. So the conversations you're having are just speaking like this. You're not putting on the salesy voice or the receptionist voice.
Do you say no to jobs much? Yeah. Are you saying no to people? Like, cause I don't know what it was like at
You're
Hayes.
saying no to people in your first 12 months. That's awesome.
Yeah, within reason. Had an example probably a month ago. Someone I'd known for a long time came to me, wanted me to help with a finance role. They'd already gone to a couple of local recruiters in the area. I think they were offering them 10%. So, okay, do you know what? If they'll go and offer you the entire service and the level of quality that we can for 10%, I don't think you need us. And just being honest, and I think that...
What was the response?
Yeah, fair enough, mate. Really appreciate your honesty. I think that goes down. That goes so far with these guys. And I even said to him, look, if you've had no luck in a couple of weeks, circle back round. That's absolutely fine. But we've got to value what we do because we do live, we breathe it. Like it means so much to us. We've got to make sure that we're working in the right context.
Do you know, you saying that as a first-time business owner, 9 months in business, not many people in this country could ever do? Having self-worth in your first 12 months to say everything you just said, most people would be, mate, even, people 20 years in business that are still scrapping one-man bands wouldn't have the self-confidence or self-value to be able to say that. I know you probably don't appreciate that right now or know the weight of that, but I'm getting goosebumps talking about it, because if you're starting at this level now, 5-10 years is really... Do you agree?
Yeah, 100%. Like, generally, the first 12 months of any business owner is definitely a scarcity mindset. It's whatever job I get, I'm just going to fill it for a 2K flat, for a 5K flat, whatever it is. Don't knock back any business because we need the money coming in the door. But to see you guys essentially at a maturity level of maybe a 5 or a 6 year business owner, having those conversations in your first 12 months is super, super impressive. I don't know if you guys have thought about that.
Go impressive, and then the other day when you're
Or
not
stupid.
feeling too confident, are we naive, because you never know what's around the corner. But I think the overarching feeling is we know what we want to be about, and as much as it might be great to have an extra bit of money in the bank, would that opportunity cost of the time spent filling a tough job or a job that's not going to work out better spent chasing the kind of people you want to work with or filling jobs with the good clients who...
That's what I mean, mate. You guys have skipped like 10 steps.
Yeah.
But I think doing the right thing by the client and the people as well. Like if you're Mr. Business Owner and you've got a recruitment company offering you a 10% fee for the same service and same level of candidate that I can only offer you 15% for, go and take the cheaper rate, mate. Like if they genuinely will give you the exact same outcome, why would you go and pay an extra 4, 5, 6%?
No, but if it was me, I would have gone, yeah, mate, I'll fill it for 8%. You know what I
Mate,
mean?
they're 10, I'm 9, mate.
yeah.
I'm 9.
The little fish are as good as the big ones. That's what Jimmy says.
But mate, that is genuinely most people's approach to business. So yeah, that's what I'm excited to see. And that's why you've got the team following you, the team growing, the presence. Tell us about the end of financial year. Is that a surprise or is that a...
No,
it's all good?
So yeah, we're... I don't know where it kind of came from, but we've booked a big 12 better down in Byron, kind of in the hinterland. And the idea was that end of financial year, we're turning 1. So great little way to sneak that in, a bit of an event. But also we've got a team of 6 then. How do we set the year up to really kick on? Now we'll be a year in, we've done a lot of the business set up. So that's out the way. We can focus a bit more, get the team, build a bit of chemistry, get everyone together. We've got a half-day workshop in the morning on the Monday for a bit of kind of performance coaching, and then hopefully we can get the Chief Growth Officer from Recruiter down for the afternoon. Woo! Again, to help with that strategy side of it. We'll have kind of family dinners together at night and really just go, this is a business you can be proud to work for. Like, we give a shit.
Fucking love that.
We want to see you do well. It's not about maximising getting every last cent out of everything we do. There's a certain level where an extra little bit of money doesn't make any difference. So what if we actually use that to make the people a bit happier, feel like they're as much in it as we are? That's going to, the ROI, and that's well and above, isn't it?
Huge.
Yeah. And we'll get the partners there, so it will feel like a big, big community, a big family. I'm keen as. The place is sick.
Oh, mate,
You know what,
it's wild.
we're not these high and mighty people doing this for everyone. We want to do it for ourselves as well. We
Yeah.
want to be in Byron.
Yeah.
How good is that?
Yeah, and that's the beauty of being a business owner and loving what you do,
No,
loving
that's
your
the beauty
staff.
of being a successful business owner.
Yes, a successful business owner. Sorry, I forgot to add that in. But you can then like mix your personal desires in with business and kind of wrap it all up together and get even more excitement and fulfillment. Like, what's better than going, I want to go to Byron for a little bit. Let's just take the whole team, make it productive, make it inclusive for everyone to get some value out of it, and it'll further accelerate and double down on the success of the business. It's just a bit of a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think we're quite generous as well. Like, neither of us came from money. We both came from a working class background in poorer areas of England. So I think now when we can help people and kind of bring them along for the journey, that's what we really want to do.
And you're sponsoring your football team, Broady.
Yeah.
What's this?
So I got a lovely advertising board up at Broadbeach, which for me is a massive full circle moment. Like, I rocked up to Australia at 19. All I ever done was play football. I was a bit of an idiot.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Have you got any pickies on this?
I can get some sorted, yeah.
Yeah.
So now kind of coming back. I've played for a couple of different clubs in between. Now coming back to the club this year. And yeah, been able to sponsor the club and get our name
there,
That is
that was a
awesome.
goosebump
The
moment.
king is back.
Yeah, that was
How
that was mental.
good.
I
And
just
we've
wanna-
got a charity partner as well called SOP, Serving Our People, great charity here on the Gold Coast. They're Australia's fastest growing charity. So we've got them aboard as well, which is sat right next to the Harwell one. So again, that's just that reflection moment of doing good for the club and then also trying to do a bit of good for the community as well, the local people.
Boys, 9 months.
So how far in
Crazy.
the future are you guys? How far in the future are you guys thinking right now? Are you thinking 1 year ahead, 1 quarter ahead, 5 years ahead? What's the actual time horizons now? You know, stepping into your own. What are the time horizons you're starting to consider?
For me, Christmas, because I think we know we've got the team coming in July. Then we want 6 months of button down, get everyone pumping, up and running, and then I'm sure we'll sit down again. Okay, great. Hopefully that's working. Do we stay as we are? Do we get more in? Do we do new sectors? That's probably the business short term, I'd say, and then the longer term one is, you know, great. We want Harwell Consulting to be, you know, the leader for the next 10 decades, whatever it might be. What other areas can we expand into, develop into, whether that's commercial property, whether that's the Harwell Foundation, which kind of links back into the serving our people.
Nice,
Yeah, the world's our oyster.
mate. Big
Yeah.
plans.
And it's just making sure that we've got the medium, short, long-term goals, but I think making sure that the short-term goals are kind of manufactured to get us towards those long-term goals. So like Ad said, the long-term goal is Harwell being, you know, leading recruitment agency on the Gold Coast or Queensland. But until we get this team bedded in the next 6 months and pumping, that long-term goal is not going to happen.
Yeah, and it's a bit of an art too, trying to get staff in, get them pumped up, do your own billings. Like that's pretty tough, you know, being a billing manager, which you both are essentially. On top of being a business owner, it's not an easy gig. So you need a lot of energy and a lot of art to make sure that everyone is feeling good, and it's not too robotic, as you say, with your end of year events, all that kind of stuff. I think that's going to go a long way. I'm interested to know about your next merch cycle. What's the next? Obviously, if anyone can see right now, I'm looking like this for a reason because I'm representing the boys with this Harwell bucket hat. But what's the next? Like, what do you call it in fashion? Season.
Release.
Season. What's the next Harwell season of merch?
Yeah, winter.
Yeah, it's coming soon. So Ringers Western are kind of main, get a key supplier who we do a lot of work with that. They've been awesome. Massive help for us in terms of ideas and what to do. So we're kind of working through what the next one looks like. Obviously, going to have to get more in now with more stuff.
Yeah.
So the dollars are stacking up. But
Harwell tracksuit?
Harwell
Goldie.
trackies.
I don't think you
It's
need
not
a
that cold.
tracksuit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think gym shirts is one. We definitely want to get some kind of gym shirts. You know, like the... I don't know how to word it. So you have the kind of Harwell and then Consultant if I'm right, and it'll be established 2023 in that kind of style.
Yeah, nice.
So that's what we see. New t-shirts, cool new logos. I think we've developed now from the stiff H/C. Now we can actually do cool logos, which at the time we didn't know we could do.
You can do anything, mate. That's the thing. Hey, how good
Maybe
is
the
it?
next pod we'll just be selling t-shirts and the recruitment will be done.
And swish.
Okay, so you've got an end of financial year event with the team, and then you're just head down, bum up for the rest of the year. There's no more hires.
Yeah, so after July, hopefully that'll be us. Oh, saying that, there potentially is one more. That'll be more of a support role working across the 3 different businesses. She wants to learn to be a consultant. So for her, it'd be an awesome kind of apprenticeship to learn labour hire, learn construction, learn finance, and then wherever the business kind of takes her and wherever she wants to go, we can look to put her through down the track as well. So that'll be it. 7 is the magic number. Get to Christmas, take stock.
Yeah, you got to make sure you reflect on what you've achieved too, because when you're in the thick of building a business, going hard, trying to grow something of yours, like Declan and I sometimes sit back and like we don't take stock very often, but then we look back at where we were 12 months ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, we go, holy shit, we've actually done a little bit more than you always feel like you can do a little bit more, but taking stock's really, really important, and looking back and going, holy shit, look at our first 12 months in business. If this is our first 12 months, imagine where we're going to be in 10 years. Hey, you'll be at, is it Palmy on the beach? Is it Palm Beach?
Oh, yeah. Well, there's everywhere, isn't it? It's Gold Coast.
Miami. The big houses.
What are those big houses right on the beach that you can just walk off your house and in?
Hedges, like Hedges have.
Yeah, that's where you'll be, boys.
We need a bigger office for that.
Yeah.
That'll be the office.
That'll be it. Yeah, well, that'll be the real work from home.
It's scary to think about, but I think the way we're both wired is we don't want to get caught up in that too much.
Nah.
We don't want to lose the hunger,
Yeah.
lose the fight, lose the passion. Because look, it's been 9 months.
Being humble.
It can all disappear so quick, right? Like you never know what's going to happen. So I think we just want to keep kicking and keep pushing and use the success to drive more hard work, more growth, and just hopefully, like you boys say all the time, just that compounding effect of just doing more.
You haven't experienced it. You do know that.
Yeah, you don't know compounding yet. Give it like year 2 and year 3, and you guys will be like, "Holy fuck!"
Yeah.
I know what those dickheads were talking about.
Yeah.
I think one of the best decisions we made was to pay ourselves, I guess, a salary that was within probably 10% of the salary we earned in our previous agency, because for me, that's just kept us so hungry. It's very easy to step into your own agency. You could potentially 4x your income. The invoices start flying through the door. You're throwing money here, there, and everywhere. But I think doing that has kept us humble, kept us hungry to kind of keep working hard and keep the volume high, which has then allowed us to kind of go on this growth journey. And I think that's something we're both quite keen to keep true for the next few years at least.
And can we break down, I know you guys spoke about like the Harwell way, your sales process. You know, there's a lot of recruiters that listen to this that would love to be able to even think of the idea of emulating what you guys have done. What would you say had been the critical drivers that you guys have implemented in your sales process, your client acquisition strategy, or just overall how it all works? That's sort of the Harwell way. That's been different as opposed to just ripping the phones and, still remember that photo of you guys standing there on the balcony with crystals, just look scared, shitless.
Yeah.
To now, look at yous now. But what's changed from, those two guys back then to how, this whole picture gets painted now?
I think it's the level and the depth that you do with your initial discovery, whether that's with a client or whether that's with a candidate. And it's probably the risk of actually saying to people, do you know what, you probably don't need our help. Do you actually need to be moving roles? If salary is your only motivator, why don't you go and have that conversation with your current employer? That's been a massive one, I think, is just finding the real why that someone needs help.
How
or
do you
wants
get
to
that?
help.
Like, what probing questions are you asking?
what are their pain points, what have they done before. They're just really trying to unearth. I guess if you're taking out, I guess if you're, what I'm hearing is you're taking out your own personal interests and you're going, you know what, doesn't matter about me. I'm just going to figure out what the goal is with this guy and see if I can genuinely help him and provide a good service. And by taking out your own personal interests, you're not like sitting there going, oh, where am I going to place this guy? Oh, if I can convince him this or convince him that, or tell him that his employer's shit for, you know, underpaying him and get him disgruntled and so I can take him. You're more just like, hey, mate, look, if it's just money, mate, just go have a conversation. And there's nothing in it for you short term, but long term, that's where you guys are going to build your credibility and your authority on the Gold Coast is like, oh, no, go speak to Harwell. Like, they're not going to sit there and try and jam you into a role. They're going to actually help unblock your mind and clear your mind on what your next best step actually is, rather than just trying to get a deal out of you.
I think going back to Dec's point about some of the top tips we've had is probably ask a fair bit of people. Ask them for their time, ask them for information, because then if they're not going to give you that, why are we going to go and spend 20, 30 hours finding them a job, recruiting the role for them, if you can't give me an hour or two to sit down, have a good meeting, work out the company culture, document that, what are the role responsibilities, what are the challenges, what's success in 12 months for this person. If you can't get that level of detail from them, how serious are they? And if someone can go and fill the job with the perfect person at 8%, 10% without doing that, great. But we believe even if we lose out on that one client or that one job, the next one who we do get that detail from, they'll be a client for life. And we've had a massive bit of feedback from the job briefs that we put together. So we put a 2-3 page document. Okay, you need a project manager for Bob the Builder. This is the company overview. This is the projects they do, systems, team structure for the project, role duties, responsibilities, the package on offer, the benefits. And that comes in a nice branded Harwell document. So it's not just a, hey, mate, do you want a PM job? And he goes, yeah, chuck me across. It's now, mate, have a look at the PD. Is there anything in there you're not too sure on we can help with? And this is ideally over a coffee as well. So the level of detail we get at the front end then shows the candidate shit, these guys are serious. They're not mucking about. There's no grey area here. I can't go, oh, but I thought it was in Brisbane. No, mate, the documents quite clearly states it's on the Gold Coast or whatever it might be. And then the commitment you get from the candidate because they feel you're more committed to them, then makes it way easier at the back end as well. Like, it's been a bit of a cheat code.
Yeah, it's just a non-negotiable. Do not cut corners. It's so easy in recruitment when, like Ad said, you got the perfect guy for the perfect role that says, chuck me across. Now, you still got to run a full process with him because, again, you don't want to risk wasting your time, their time, the client's time, because it's great. It's amazing. I've got this perfect guy, but you waste a week. Whereas if you'd have done your full discovery and your full process on day one, you'd have realised it wasn't going to work. And then you've just got 6 days back within that process, which sometimes a day can be the difference between filling the job or not.
And we've all done it. We've all done that little quick win. You haven't got a full CV or I haven't met them. I'll just send him across. Every single time they let you down, whether it's their fault or not. They either take a counter offer, they take a different job that you didn't know they had coming because you hadn't done a proper discovery. They start the job and fall out in a couple of weeks. Or on the flip side, you know, the client pulls the job, fills it internally, does something else. Whenever you try and take the piss and cut the corner, recruitment gods just go, got you, mate.
You fucked up here.
Every time.
So walk me through how that happens. So let's say, for example, you got a brief from the client, you've done a big discovery, you know exactly what they're looking for, their projects, from Bob the Builder, the example you just gave, and you find the perfect guy and he goes, yeah, just chuck me across. What do you say? You go, whoa, ease up. Let's go for a coffee. I want to sit down. I want to have a proper conversation with you. And then we go through the brief together. And he goes, oh, mate, I've already read it. I'm happy with it. Let's just go. Do you slow him down a little bit or?
Yeah, for sure. And
that's very counterintuitive in recruitment. Because, like, if you're ready to send someone off, speed to market, you send them off. Like, that's what a lot of people get taught, not to slow it down and go meet someone before sending them across.
We do a bit of work in Brisbane now, so it's not easy to go for coffee with everyone. So a lot of Teams calls. And I think a Teams call, honestly, even if it's 20 minutes and they're on their phone in the car, I still take that and hold a lot of weight to that because they've gone into the car, they've gone off site, they've clicked on the link. Sounds pretty straightforward, right? But if you're busy, people don't want to do it. And then you can go, okay, I've got you on the phone now, on a FaceTime call or whatever it might be. On the brief, actually a couple of curly ones here, mate. You were there for 6 months and 6 months. What's that? Oh, you know, I've had a sickness I need to sort out. Great, now I understand. I can deal with that when I'm speaking to the client. Just that commitment the whole time. 20 minutes on a Teams call or FaceTime. If you're serious, it's not hard.
And it's just discovering the real why, because it's easy to match your experience to the job description. Like, people don't pay you a 20k fee to do that. For me, it's kind of unearthing the real drivers of why they're looking for a new move, whether that's culture, whatever it might be. And it's impossible to do that from a quick, hey, mate, this is the job brief. What are your thoughts? Yeah, throw me across. No, we need to speak about what do you look for in management styles, cultures, and make sure that we're aligning that with the company. That's where we feel the real magic is. It's easy to fire people around the market. It's okay, let's find you a real fit that hopefully you don't speak to me for another 5 years unless you want to recruit in your team.
Yeah.
I think that's a golden nugget as well. A lot of the people we place, if they're not in that direct role, they're going into hiring managers, they're only kind of one away. So in a couple of years, if they stay there, I hope they stay there and they step up. Hopefully they understand the level of detail we've gone into with them and go, well, I want that detail with my next hire.
So, compounding. So you didn't used to do this at Hayes. This is a new thing for Harwell.
The job brief, 100% is
the level of detail. Yeah, okay.
The questions you're asking as well.
So what if we compare the last 9 months of Harwell to the last 9 months of Hayes? Are you noticing much more buy-in from candidates, much less drop-offs? Like, what is the actual outcomes of doing this in-depth analysis with these candidates?
The replacement rate, I don't know what the actual stat is at the moment, but it's very, very good. A lot of the placements we've made are still there and going really well. And the ones that haven't, or the one that hasn't so far, we've kind of gone great, understand why, got a great result sorted. So it's not been a negative kind of outcome.
Are you getting less like fallovers in offer stage?
For the most part, yes. It still happens, right?
Yeah.
It's the way it is, especially at the moment. But we understand why it happens, put it that way. If it does, it's something that they would have spoke about early doors. Potentially this could happen.
It's not a surprise.
Yeah, it's
not a surprise. Gotcha. Yeah. So, okay. So everything makes a lot more sense. It's not like you're sitting there and a fallover happens and you're like, where the fuck did this happen? It's like, this is the one thing that I thought could happen, did happen.
And then they mentioned it, right? Or we've got it out of them. They said, actually, my husband might get a job in Sydney. whatever it might be. If that happens, I've got to pull out. And then we shout out to the client as well. And even in probably another top trip, when we're sending email calendar invites to set up an interview, so Bob the Builder's interviewing a project manager, we do a joint calendar invite, which was from Loxo, to be fair, and that blew our minds, didn't it? Because then, say the person wants to not show up for the interview, they're not letting us down, well they are, but they're letting Bob the Builder down as well, because they're all accepted on the same invite. So just that little 1%ers.
Yeah, and there's no like, oh, I thought it was this time. It's like, no, everyone had the same time in the diary. So yeah, that's one thing that I thought was a game changer when I started doing it too. My initial reaction was like, oh, we're going to get the candidate's details. But now
Scarcity,
it's like,
right?
Yeah. But now it's just like, no, like let's just all try and make this work together and have the abundancy mindset, and it just pays massive dividends.
And it goes back to that relationship, right? If that's a client that you genuinely have got an in-depth, solid relationship with, they're not going to go behind your back and get this guy in 3 months. They're going to tell you.
They give you the name.
Yeah.
Go, hey, go get this guy.
Yeah. And I thought of one when I was driving in this morning, going back to your question about kind of, I guess, that level of commitment or relationship with clients. We hardly ever get asked to discount our fees now. It's almost like they feel like when it's coming into our pockets as a small business, local business on the coast, you send through fees. We've got obviously a couple of different package options, exclusive, retained, non-exclusive, and they'll just pick the package rather than go, oh, mate, can I have a big discount on this?
Yeah.
That's the one massive shift I've seen in particular.
It's the Harwell way.
Do you think it's... We're just clipping full tickets on the way through, baby. No, I'm kidding. No, but like, do you think that there could be two things there. You're framing it from a clients want to support you kind of position, and so they're not like trying to screw down the little guy, which is definitely part of it. But the second part of it is probably you're just operating at such a high level that demands that type of fee structure. Like they go, no, I understand. I'm working with a director of an agency. They've got a tight process. They're spending the time. I'm not dealing with some, 12-month rookie recruiter who, is just trying to get a deal on the board. So I think there's two aspects of that which give you that authority to be like, no, these are the fees. Like, and to be fair, it's probably extremely good value at the fees that you're already charging to begin with. Yeah,
we know where the market's at, and we're not trying to screw people over and ask for ridiculously high fees, and we don't have a sliding scale. These are the three packages. This is a flat fee for that package. We're not going to go try, you're a new client, I'm going to go and try and get you 3 or 4% higher than some of my other guys. It's just presenting and being honest. These are the packages. Which one would you like to run with?
And the numbers that we know there's value in them, so it's not like we've asked for 20% and they've asked for a discount and we've gone, yeah, you're probably right, it's probably not worth 20%, is it? The numbers we've got on there, we go, no, the work we do, this is why we put the numbers on there.
Yeah.
So that probably gives you a level of confidence to handle those kind of issues and objections as well.
But it's the belief as well when someone, on the times where someone does ask for a discount or something too low, it's the belief to go, actually, no, sorry.
Yeah.
And what was the change like with Chloe and Andy? Because the change now will happen again in... I think it's really important for when new people join businesses. It's not like, oh, this is how I've always done it. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, mate, that's got to go out the window. This is the Harwell way, the XR way, the blended way. Did they just have automatic buy-in, or were they like, oh shit, this is such a big process to go through?
Any resistance?
Yeah.
Opposite, to be honest. I think they've seen, because obviously we work with them Hayes, right? So they saw what we were like there, and then they've come into Harwell, seen what we're like now, and gone, shit, I'd actually rather be like that.
Yeah.
Quite lucky with those two, I think.
Yeah, we're quite interactive with our processes as well. Again, we're quite honest. We've been in business less than a year. We don't know everything. We've probably scratched the surface. So we try and it's behind their strategy meetings as well. We try and write the future together with their buy-in, because I think then the accountability is on those guys as well. But then we know that they're running a process that they believe in as well, and that's a good thing. When we were able to write our own sales process, it's so much easier to stick to it, not to cut corners, because you genuinely believe in it. This is something I've created. So yeah, by getting those guys involved in it, it's massive for them as well.
Bloody oath. And what would you say to yourself 12 months ago, 9 months ago, if you saw yourself on the road?
Strap in.
Strap in.
Wait,
Any advice?
If you saw us on the actual road, you mean? Or
Yeah. If you saw yourself, you're chatting to
Yeah,
Harvey
you bumped
and
into
Adam.
yourselves from 12 months ago. What and you were sitting on the fence and you were like, oh...
Not even just sitting on the fence, like just someone And what would you say to yourself?
Just start.
How much your life could change?
Yeah, I know it's so. People who haven't started yet, they feel like everyone tells them to just start,
Yeah.
and we were the exact same. I think if people from influence are telling you that, that's when it sticks. Like we've had a couple of people who we really look up to in business go, yeah, this is our plan, this is what we're going to do. And, well, what the fuck are you waiting for? And I'm like, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I just, what is the worst that can happen? You start, it doesn't work out. There's hundreds of other recruitment agencies that are all looking for staff.
Yeah.
You've tried it, go back, it didn't work. It might work, but you don't like it. So you go back to agency. Like, that's absolutely fine. But at least you can go, I tried it.
It's the fear of
100%.
failure, isn't it? I think fear of failure is a big one, or people looking at you as a failure.
Shame.
I think,
Public shame.
I'd struggle with that for sure. But then you think I flip that by going, well, if I give it absolutely everything and then it fails, it is what it is. What can you do?
Yeah.
What did Jess Cameron say at the boot camp? It was when you're on your deathbed, you're not lying there going, oh, thank God I didn't take that risk there. Thank God I didn't take that risk there. You're lying there kicking yourself going, fuck, what if?
Yeah. Yeah. That's the biggest thing is not taking those opportunities when they present themselves and going, fuck, I wish I just backed myself. I reckon that's a lot of the animosity people have with themselves in 10 years, 15 years, when they look back and go, holy shit, like it's such a small decision, but at the time it felt really big. But if I just did it, my life could be completely different now. And you two are embodying that change of just 9 months ago, you were recruiters at Hayes. Now you run your own business, you got staff, you're kicking goals, you're going through these personal development journeys, and you can just see the enthusiasm and the passion and the fun that you guys are having. It's really, it's energetic.
And you've got to get comfortable with making those decisions because, like you said, that's the smallest one. When you go into business and it does work and the stakes are high, you're going to have to make so many more of those difficult decisions.
Yeah.
So if you're worried about making that one, maybe it's not for you.
Yeah, totally. Well, mate, this has been an awesome potty. We appreciate volume 2. Looking forward to volume 3 though in 12 months' time. The compounding effect of
Well, we might get you on our.
well, yes.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
Ah,
You guys are getting in the game.
you can't say it yet.
You can't say it yet?
There's something coming.
There's something coming.
All right. Well, we'll do a media release with something coming when that comes. Thank you for joining us today, boys. It was awesome to hearing about everything you've been getting up to over the last 9 months, what you've achieved. It's super exciting, and we can't wait to follow the journey for another 12.
And look, just finishing on the support from you both as well. We definitely don't take it lightly, the level of interest and enthusiasm and I guess the mentorship we've had from the both of you. We started out proper green in terms of business owners, didn't really have a clue. And even the littlest questions like, mate, can I have a copy of your terms of business? Because I haven't got one. Great. Whatever it might have been. Or to the bigger questions. We're thinking about hiring this person. What do you think? And the 12-week investment that we speak through. And even today, like the questions don't stop. They just change and get bigger and better, hopefully. And the two of you are always, well, good mates now, put it that way, right? When we started, it was you were helping us set up a business, and now we're the best of mates.
And we're all on the journey together. That's what I love about it.
That's it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well done, boys. Better together.
Better together.
Appreciate it, boys.
Cheers,
And
lads.
it means a lot, you guys saying that. So thanks heaps.
La Boche.
Love you, boys.
Bosh. Thanks for tuning in to another Confessions of a Recruiter podcast with Blake and Declan. We hope you enjoyed and got a lot of value and insights out of this episode. If you do have any questions or you would like to recommend someone to come on the Confessions podcast, we would love any introductions. And remember the rule of the podcast: like, share, and recommend it to a friend. Until next time.